GSC coming down. Fresh pal.
Lots of snow to be had for those of you who got out early there on Sunday morning across much of Hakuba. We saw about 30 to 50 centimeters of snowfall this past week, and especially into the overnight hours, and probably one of the best runs of the season, getting out there into some of the first lines on a few of those slopes. Now, if you missed out on that and you're heading out here with Tokyo Snow Club this coming weekend, do try to get out on some of those first runs Saturday morning. It is going to be interesting. It could be a lot of snow there in the Hakuba and much of northern Japan for that matter. But before I get into the forecast, I do kind of want to make a disclaimer. I don't do this very often. This was a tricky forecast to put together. There's a few factors in place. El Nino year, I know I blame a lot on that, but it is definitely a tricky one. So let's talk about this. First, I'll get into the observations. Most of this is from snowjapan.com, so the reporters out there, they can't get this wrong. And even if we don't get the snowfall I'm expecting right now, there's still a lot of snow on the base here, so you're going to have fun. Zao looking at 150 centimeters, Minakami around 160. I know it's not as much as we typically see this time of year, but still more than other areas of the world. If you take a look over towards Hakuba, I want to point this out, 95 centimeters on the base of the slopes, but up there into the top of the mountains, according to local reports, around 200 to 210 centimeters on the ground. So the higher up you go on the mountains, the more snow you're going to be getting into, and that's really going to ring true as we talk about the forecast. Let's look farther towards the North Snow and our friends in Hokkaido, Kirodo around 227 centimeters, and over towards Niseko 135. I put this point on the map, by the way. This is not a ski slope, but it is a mountain here in Aomori Prefecture, heaviest, or the deepest snow base, I should say, in the entire country, 233 centimeters on the ground. Not a resort, but if you feel like climbing a mountain out there, which I don't recommend because it's probably avalanche prone, that's where the deepest snow is at this time. All right, let's get into the forecast here. This is what everybody wants to know about. Well, first, let's point this out. This right here, that is our southern coast low. These are not common, by the way, but given the dynamics we are seeing out here this season, these are becoming more and more common with us jet farther towards the south. What that means is, though, typically we see warmer temperatures, more snowfall along the Pacific coastline of Japan as well, and definitely these more blizzard-like conditions. Unfortunately, it also results in less snowfall over there towards Hokuriku, where we really want it. You can see right here, though, this is bringing in warm air from the south. That's because it's originating out of southeastern China. Actually, we're looking at near record-breaking temperatures in the southern Japanese islands and maybe across parts of Kagoshima. Now, if you see that out here, that's going to reflect farther there towards the northeast. And in fact, it does bring in some of that warmer air. And we're going to be looking at rainfall in some of the lower elevations, even in the ski country, by Friday morning. Now, by Friday night, I think things are going to change up here. That's really the good news. The other key thing with this, though, is as our low tracks over Japan, I think the center of that low pressure area is going to stay south of most of the mountains up here. If it does, instead of tracking over to Sea of Japan, that keeps the cold air mass off here towards the north, pulling in that Siberian air all along, which in the end means snow instead of rain. It's a tricky one. We're walking a fine line here. I do believe, though, by Friday morning, we are going to see some rain out here for most of you, but especially in the higher elevations, it's just going to be dumping all day. Tokyo might see a rain-snow mix, actually, overnight Friday and the Saturday. Now, I know bombed on it last week, and I expect the snow. Nothing happened, not even a rain, but it does look like there is that potential. It's just going to be cold enough, and there is plenty of moisture, at least there by Saturday morning. By Sunday, this gets a move on. We see clearing conditions, so Sunday, you're probably going to see some snow, but I think it's going to be more so patchy. Let's take a look at the forecast here for this coming weekend. Oh, first, I do want to get into the model outlook, actually. This is a total snowfall accumulation up there through Monday. Now, this is exactly what I've been discussing here. Look at all western Japan. No snow whatsoever. It's too warm. Lots of precipitation coming down, just not enough cold air. Meanwhile, across much of central Japan, you can see that snow really piles up. And look, there's a fine line right in here. You have about 50, 60 centimeters on some of these areas being picked up by this model, but just south of that, where it's too warm, it's just a lot of rainfall. And that's what I mean by this being a tricky forecast to put together. But I think with that southern movement of our low pressure area, we're going to see more snow than rain, at least into the Hakuba, Nagano, Niigata area. For those of you in Hokkaido, you guys, you're gonna get snow. It's too cold up there. Don't worry about the rain word out there. I know it's a dirty 4-letter word. All right, let's talk about Hakuba the weekend upcoming Thursday. Here on today, some PM snowfall, about 3 to 6 centimeters possible. Temperatures remaining below freezing, but as we go out into Friday, you get that warm up. Some of the areas could get above freezing, up to about 3 expected in the town. I put this right here, a little mountain, just to show you. In higher elevations, we're going to be seeing snow all day. Rain down in the lower elevations, probably below 600 to 800 meters. Keep in mind, Hapo-One's base is around 750 meters, so you might see rain in the morning hours. I think by early afternoon, once that cold air mass sets in, it's just going to change right over to wet snow, and we could be seeing a lot of it, especially where it's dumping all day. These numbers are conservative with some of the models that are actually being put out. Saturday, it does clear up a little bit, about 5 to 10 centimeters out there for you, and then as we go over towards Sunday, still about another 5 to 10 centimeters going ahead. So some pretty decent news as we head throughout this weekend. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the update. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, post them down in the comment box below. Thanks for all the feedback you guys have been giving me. Please check out TokyoSnowClub.com, and I'll put the link down below if you are looking for a fun way and a relatively cheap way to get out there into the mountains out here in Japan. All right, guys.